Good morning, everyone. Time for the Sunday Morning Visit program. I'm Judy Stratman. Well, a recent sit-down with marketing specialist from Dakota Plains Ag Center, Cullen Wilson, identified some challenges in farm country right now, saying it's not been easy out there for a lot of reasons.
Lots of different challenges in different areas, from flooding to snow, livestock, even grain movement has been a challenge because of the weather and road conditions. So that's affected the markets, especially the local markets. So it's been a challenging year. Commodity prices have been pretty flat. We've had all sorts of trade negotiations that have yet to be resolved. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. There's a lot of uncertainty on the farm, and farmers are resilient and optimistic. And we got a new crop going to begin here once we start planting and go through this planting season. And so there's always a little hope, Judy.
How much can you help people? And that's where you guys can shine. It helps you open the door for people to really seriously talk about their marketing plans.
Yeah, one thing that I've always wanted to provide tools to equip the farmer to discover their goals and their price targets and build this marketing plan. With the weather conditions and the road conditions this winter, I've really pivoted on the value of our facilities and the value of staying close to home and not getting grain on wheels, driving 75, 80 miles down the road, and the value of doing business with somebody closer to your farm and just the safety of that, and also just the time savings of that. And also, we provide a competitive market right here, and just the ease of use of our facility and the relationships that you can build with the people here is something that we're highlighting. The value of just time savings of using a fast, really efficient facility closer to the farm has been something we've been talking about. And there's a lot of cash flow situations out there where we provide really fast settlements to help pay down some interest faster. So those two things of just ease of use, closer to home, having more time to be on the farm, to take care of the livestock or get the kids to school or back to school or be home when they get off the bus and not be in a truck stuck somewhere, is something that we're really trying to highlight here, is our ease of use of our facilities. Our thoughts and our hearts go out to the people south of us in Nebraska. We don't do a lot of business there, but there has been interest since some of the bridges have been washed out, and we have an open door policy, and we want to try to help and earn anybody's business that wants to do business with us. But definitely our hearts and our thoughts go out to the people in Nebraska and even South Dakota. In our area, in our trade area, there's been challenges and there's been losses to grain quality and different things, livestock. So we're real conscious of that when we're out there engaging with our customers.
There's probably cropland that's not going to be planted this year. How's that going to affect the markets?
Well, it's really up in the air. One thing to stay positive, and a farmer told me this week, is fields are open, the sun's shining, and the drain tile's trickling, the creeks are running, so the frost is out of the ground. So if we can maintain some weather, this farmer was optimistic he was going to get planted. Now there's some areas, because of roads that are just washed out, you're not going to be able to get equipment down them. There's going to be water standing in certain fields where you're not going to get planted. So there will be some prevented planted acres. There will be some acres taken out of production this year because of what Mother Nature has done. But farmers are resilient. Mm-hmm. They have an investment to protect and to nourish and to be stewards of, and they're going to find a way to get their seed in the ground. I'm optimistic that they will.
If it's all possible.
Yeah, if at all possible.
I think a lot of people are going to have to soil test to figure out what's, they
maybe.
Should anyway, but it'll be a whole different. Now it's different.
It might be, there was sediment and different soils, erosion, and I'm not an agronomist. I'm not sure how that will change the soil makeup. Definitely there'll be some changes. I know in 2011, my father-in-law actually had some ground on the river bottom that there was a sandbar left on it, about 20 acres of a sandbar. He wasn't able to farm that 20 acres really since. So there are going to be some changes to some of the topography of the land. So yeah, that's where the uncertainty comes in.
There's going to be a lot of bankers scratching their head.
I think financially, the lenders are probably working with their customers to figure out the best scenario. As far as a financial plan goes, we can help provide cash flow because we turn the grain into revenue for the farmer, and the revenue pays the bills on the farm. So we can provide a good market, a secure market for that. Cash flow is grain flow. You have to move grain to create cash flow in the grain business. So we can provide a really stable market in our facilities. We're unaffected. We're still fully operational, and we're trying to turn and burn some grain to make space for any grain that wants to move that will eventually provide cash flow. One thing, when a farmer sells grain, it protects working capital on the farm. So that's one way that we can provide that financial stability to the farmer. If you talk to enough lenders, which I have talked to a lot of lenders in the last 3 years, and when I really ask them what their biggest concern is, they always mention working capital. That's basically just the excess current assets over current liabilities. So that's the farm's ability to cover its expenses and its debts and different things to be solvent. So that's one thing that the lender is always watching and looking out on the balance sheets of the farms, and that has been stressed the last few years from what guys tell me. So like I said, grain flow equals cash flow. That's the main thing. So we can provide that. We provide a place where they can physically deliver their grain, and we provide the revenue source. We pay them money for their grain. I just want to call out quality of grain. We had a wet fall. Crops didn't necessarily get harvested at the ideal spec for export or anything. There was a lot of 17, 18, 19% corn harvested and put into bins. So I just wanted to call out checking the bins, running the aeration fans, making sure you're managing your temperature of your grain. And we did see quite a bit of grain damage last summer. July, August, September. So that starts right now, is this grain quality maintenance of running fans, managing the temperature, and moving grain to peak out bins and to move that quality before it really becomes a problem. I would really challenge the farm to develop a quality management for their grain. And I know a lot of them they have really fancy bins anymore that can tell them a lot about their grain. I just wanted to call that out, to watch the quality, because taking discounts late in the summer is not fun. It's not fun for us to have to take the discounts, and it's not fun for the farmer. We have to make an export spec. That's a market that takes a lot of grain out of our country, and it's a good market, but they demand a pretty tight spec for us to meet. So that's the challenge and the opportunity that we have, is we want to make sure our growers don't get any discounts. So we want to, make sure that they're keeping their grain quality under control. Safety in the bins is really important. There's always a story about engulfment out there that's just tragedy. So we want to make sure that they're taking the proper safety and taking the time to do the right thing when they are checking their bins on top of them, open up vents and different things. So
do you think there'll be a lot more drain tiling going on?
Oh yeah, I think every year, I think farmers have
more.
When I talk to farmers, and if you ask them the question, what's the best investment right now on the farm, a lot of them will tell you tiling. Because what will happen is you take 10 acres that wasn't able to be farmed, and then you tile around it, and now you can farm it. Just adds bushels on ground that was producing 0 before. So I think tiling will continue as long as there's adequate working capital to make those investments. I think that's something that you'll continue to see, tiling, and it has enhanced our yields, and that's something that the farmer will continue to do, in my opinion.
So, Cullen, while competition is good and it's usually fair, what's your point of added value in the picture?
I'm really going back to the facility and the ease of use, and there's all sorts of marketing services and plans, and everybody is trying to enter into that space. Everybody's got the marketing solution. It seems like everybody pulling up the farmer's driveway or calling him has a marketing solution. So, and we offer those too, but we also provide, we can actually handle the grain for the farmer. We can take it, and we have the physical capabilities to handle a physical commodity that the guy in Silicon Valley or Chicago can't. And then we have this localized person and team that can localize some of this global information. So we really tried to provide that physical service of taking physical grain at a competitive price and then making it really easy to do business. So that's one thing that I've been trying to focus on. Judy, we don't do it perfectly, but that's our goal here. So to really attract the grower that wants that type of service. So just the physicality of the physical commodity, and then working with somebody that has some of the marketing insights and plans that everybody offers. I don't think a lot of the marketing solutions are a differentiator anymore, because most companies are offering them the same thing. So when it comes down to ease of use of our facility and the relationships that people have with the people, it's still a trust business at the end of the day. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to add value, give value in exchange for the privilege to buy the farmer's grain, and then we can export that bushel to a more valuable market than what's here. And we can't buy them all. Can't buy all the bushels, but we want to buy the ones that make sense for our facilities, that are really easy to use.
And in the end, all praise to the farmer who constantly and consistently demonstrates resilience and optimism.
One thing to stay positive, and a farmer told me this week, is the fields are open, the sun's shining, drain tiles trickling, the creeks are running, the frost is out of the ground. So if we can maintain some weather, this farmer was optimistic he was going to get planted. Now there's some areas, because of roads that are just washed out, you're not going to be able to get equipment down them. There's going to be water standing in certain fields where you're not going to get planted. So there will be some prevented planted acres. There will be some acres taken out of production this year because of what Mother Nature has done. But farmers are resilient. They have an investment to protect and to nourish and to be stewards of, and they're going to find a way to get their seed in the ground. I'm optimistic that they will.
Well, thank you so much, Cullen. That's it for this Sunday morning. Thanks to Cullen Wilson, Marketing Specialist at Dakota Plains Ag Center, for sharing today's message. For Radio 570 WNAX, good day. I'm Judy Stratman.